Hey folks, we're back here again on the, I really don't know if this saw over there it sits was it's the one I unboxed a few days ago and got running. I don't know if it was an 064 or 066 because there really wasn't a name badge on it, and to my understanding the serial number is on the inside of the crankcases, and I'm really not into pulling the handle off just to see, so I've got some parts to work on it, but what I'm going to do, I've got to pull the starter cover. That's one of the repairs. The pawls in the starter mechanism just wore out. I hope the mechanism itself is fine, but we picked up some new pawls from HL Supply. I'm sure they're Chinese, but whatever. And we picked up a carb kit. It does have the Walbro carbs, so I'm thinking the saw could be an 066. They listed it as an 064, but there was nothing there showing me that. But I don't know. The saw does have the larger handlebar. It has the Walbro carb. I think the 064s had that Bing carb. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure they did. And the thing had double dogs on it, and they were OEM dogs and looked like they'd been on it since the saw was new. But this top cover, when I took it off, just kind of fell apart here. I will repair this with some fiberglass and use it on another saw later, but we picked up a OEM cover. It was off a 066 mag. Of course, it's missing the tag plate, and I'd already sanded the air filter cover down and painted it. It's I think the name of that color is pumpkin orange. It matches to what a steel looks like new. I searched around on forums and found that color. I think it's in a Krylon. It'll scratch, it'll fade, but as of right now, it'll look better than this. So we're going to sand this down and paint it. We're going to rebuild the carb and redo the starter pawls, and I'll probably try to video most of that in as best detail as I can because I'm really bored. So I doubt I'll show sanding this down and painting it, but I'll show you what it looks like after sanding and after painting. But I'll cut you back on then. Got us some sandpaper. I think it's 200 grit Harbor Freight Special. We're going to get this sticker off. I'll probably get a new plate and a new sticker to go on it once I find out exactly what the saw is. But we're just going to rough this up, clean it best we can, and shoot it to paint and let it sit and dry. It's about 80 degrees in here, so it should dry quick. Just to give an idea of how close those colors are, here's the original that was under that sticker, and there's what I painted. They're pretty close. Should look good. Yeah, there's Krylon. I think it's Krylon Max. It's about faded. I ain't gonna give a painting lesson, but basically you paint and do 50% overlaps and start light and work your way up to medium wet coats till you get it covered. I'm not gonna spray in front of this camera because it's a really expensive camera and it would be stupid. So I'll throw a few coats of paint on this and then show you what it looks like. There's one thin coat of paint. If you're painting, paint somewhere in ventilation. I'm basically in a paint booth here. I kind of paint a little as a hobby. We got a video showing the whole build of my Mustang and showing me redoing my daughter's Eclipse. They're on a cheap paint job on it if you want to watch them. But I ain't no body man, but I can spray a little paint if I need to. Yeah, I'll just do it somewhere where you got ventilation. There we've got one medium wet coat on it, and I'll throw one more medium wet coat on it and set it over out of the way. Okay, next what I've got here, I've got to put a starter pawl in this saw. What it was, when the carb, the diaphragm went, I'd pulled on it a few times, it kicked back, and these things, you can just see they're wore out. So hopefully the new ones fix it. If not, I'll end up having to get the pulley but that's no big deal. The internet's full of them. Like we have one screw in the center to take out. It's T27 Torx, just like everything else on these saws. You got the screw, the spring, the washer, this kit. It comes from HL Supply. Looks like it had the spring, the washer, and the pawls. So should be all we need. Spring comes off of the bolt. It's got a, it's a pretty good camera. You'll see it's got a groove that spring goes in. Your paws just kind of pick up out of here. Looking at them, they really don't look that bad, but hopefully the new ones tighten it up some. I'll get those out and then cut you back on. We've got it back together. It tightened it up a little, but I'm probably going to end up having to look into getting this. I'm sure that rope's not going to last real long either, the way it looks, so it's no big deal. I'm sure this thing's cheap, but the way that goes is that spring clips around that, and then you can see how it lays on there, and then you tighten it down, and that's basically it. You're back together. Got it back together. If you'll notice, if you didn't watch the first video, it's saw don't have a chain brake. Didn't have one. I won't put one on it because it gets in the way when you're milling, but she's working again. Okay, next we're going to get into the carburetor. We're just going to put the basic diaphragms in it because the saw was running and the pump diaphragm went and the head part. Done took the back cover off. You can't, it's got one nut, pulls it off, but then this air filter just lifts off. I'm really not a fan of that, it looks restrictive. Gonna set it out of the way, and you have a screw here, and then one right over from it, just like every other steel chainsaw, or about every one I've ever worked on. Gonna set that out of the way, and then over here on this particular saw, your plug for your adjustments does have to come out and get the carb off. This one I don't think it ever been out. When I took the saw apart the other day, it was a pain. Just pop it out like so. Got two 5/16 nuts. This is one of the easier saws I've pulled the carb off of. I really like the design. Say, I don't know the shape of the seals on this saw. Fuel line looks okay, but once it's ran for a while with this awesome fuel we have now, who knows, but I'll try to do this as quick as I can for the sake of the video. Then you're going to want to pop your throttle lever off. Get a plate behind that. On your throttle lever, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you can get your fingers in and work the throttle wide open, squeeze the trigger, that throttle shaft will come right out usually. Unless you're videoing, I want it to come off. There. Wide open, hold the blade, pull it to the side, come right out, and then your fuel line. No, it shouldn't come off that easy, but I'm sure it'll end up needing a line. So you pull your carb off, and I'll set this saw out of the way, cut you back on once we get into the carb. We got our kit here. It's just your basic Walbro K10 kit. Works in a lot of saws. First thing we're going to do is get to the pump side. We're going to pull these 4 screws out, and I'll cut you back on. There's our diaphragm. It's, you know, it's just shot. Gasket looks alright, but I'm gonna, when we have new, I'm gonna peel that off and clean this thing up some. Okay, there's a little screen in here. I rarely change it. This one's clean. I'm not gonna forward digging it out and putting a new one in. It's clear. I've already checked it. But every kit comes with it usually. You just take a pick it out, and you can take like the end of a screwdriver or something, push it back in, but that one's fine. We're just going to leave it alone. Okay, some of these kits, this one will come with 2 of the diaphragms. That's your plastic piece. You're going to have to match it up, but what I like to do, I'll show it once I've got it together. I'll put just a little bit of grease on this plate, put my gasket on, then a little bit of grease on the gasket, and put my diaphragm on, and then made it back together. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. The gasket on, your gasket will always go first against this plate, and then your diaphragm. Okay, we've got our diaphragm on. Next thing I'm going to do is mount it back to the base and put my screws back in. Once you've got that on, you need to pressure and vacuum test here. If it's as simple as just putting on a piece of clean hose and using your mouth. If you have the wrong diaphragm in, you won't have pressure or vacuum on your fuel inlet, and I'll tell you both diaphragms will go on, so don't ask me how I know, but I do. But next we're going to change out the meter and diaphragm. You've got 4 screws on this side as well, and your alignment dowels. I'm going to go ahead and take those off camera. Okay, the meter and diaphragm felt good in this, but I took it off anyway just because we have one. It was pliable, wasn't leaking. Actually, fuel came out when I took it off. That's what you want. I've already checked. The needle and seat are doing what they should. That's down here. Okay, there's a screw here. You back that out about all the way, and there's a little spring under that. Your kit comes with everything but the spring usually, but I rarely change them. If it's the point where the needle and seat are wore out, I usually just buy a carb, because those are a pain to change. I can do it, but I don't like it. I usually just buy a carb. But anyway, I'm going to pull my high and low jet out and blow some cleaner through it, clean it, and put our new diaphragm on. I'll show you that when I get to it. It's another one of them things. It's a little bit of a pain. I'm not going to do it on camera, but if it'll pick up, your needle valve lever has a little slot. Okay, your meter and diaphragm has a little place in it that hooks into. It's kind of aggravating to do, but after you've done a few, but what you're going to do is I use grease here again. Grease will just wash away. It's no big deal with the gas. Your gasket goes first, then your diaphragm, then your cover. I'll show you that once I get it together. What that should look like when it's in place. Got our carburetor back together. Set these jets at like 1 1/4 turnout. That should get the SAR running, and you got to tune it from there. I get this cleaned up, and we'll get our saw back up here, and it's basically just a reversal. Okay, so gonna start their carburetor. Put it on. I really wish I had this gasket to go on the back, but I don't. It still looks okay, but it's one of those deals. If I had one, we'd put it on. That fuel line goes on way too easy for my taste. Now we're gonna try to get a throttle linkage on that hooks up the same way as it came off. It's that simple. You put your 2 nuts back on and you plug. Don't forget your plate for your air filter. Said I really don't like the air filter design on this older series saw. I feel it's really restrictive. If you don't have these little magnetic trays, go to a tool store and buy them. They are very handy. And all my radio pickups, every local station, they all play country. I'm not monetized, so don't have to worry about YouTube copyrighting me though. And you're going to want your plug back in for your adjustments. It should push in tight. We're ready for our air filter and filter. Drop the tools. I've cleaned that air filter already. First time I had to saw apart. There's that cover painted, ain't that pretty? Alright, I guess what everybody's waiting for is, will it run? Just turn it on. Alright, that was a good evening of successful work on that thing. She's pretty good looking saw now. I'm going to get me a badge. I've still got to pull the muffler, measure the cylinder and see exactly what it is, but I'm just not for sure. It could be either saw, but I'm not sure if, I just don't know. Plastic looks good now, so I just need to get a badge and put on it. If it don't rain tomorrow, I'm gonna mill with this thing some, see what else it gives. I'm expecting crank seals because it's a idling good, but it's an old saw, and who knows how long it's been since it had ran. Anyway, it's been a productive night. I'm pretty tickled with this saw. If you watched this, or if it was helpful, I appreciate it, and have a good day.